Perfect. Let's get started now. So today's topic is screening, or how to build a watch list while the market is correcting. So I'll pull up the S&P 500 to start. So we'll go to the SPY ETF, go to the daily time frame. So what we're seeing in the market at the moment is we ran up all the way, from October up into March of this year, which ended, Q1. And after Q1 ended, we kind of corrected or moved about 5% from all-time highs. Now, how do you kind of navigate this kind of situation where the market's pulling back? How do you build a watch list? How do you look for strong themes and what's developing, and so you can prep for the next market cycle to the upside? So we'll go over some very simple screens that you can run relative to the market, and also some screens that are purely based on performance while the market was pulling back. So to get started, what we know for a fact today is that the market has pulled back. It's trading below its 10-day, its 21-day, and its 50-day as well. It reclaimed the 10-day yesterday and retested it today. So that's a positive sign. We're starting to see some sort of rally up. However, it's on low volume. So we have to see how these things kind of play out tomorrow into the end of the week and kind of take it day by day. Same thing for the QQQ. We had a pullback, right? A sharp break. So we saw the 10, 21, and the 50 kind of converge into one place, and we saw a break of that, all three moving averages in a single session. The market went down for a few sessions. We've rebounded up into the 10-day, and we're struggling, and we're bumping our heads into the 10-day now. And what happens the next few days will kind of dictate if this particular low is going to stick, or we're going to see consolidation and a rally attempt up, which will again reclaim the 21 and the 50-day. So what we know for a fact today is the SPY is near its 10-day, the QQQ, and it's below its 21 and 50. The Qs are below their 21 and 50s, right? And the IWM will paint a very similar story, is below its 21 and 50, and it's reclaimed the 10-day. So a simple screen that we could run right off the bat, if we're looking for just pure relative strength. Close your screen as we can't see the chart. I think, William, you might have a screen up on your end. You see my screen, Nick, right?
Yeah, I see it. Do you guys see the chart?
Yeah, they should see it. It says close your screen. William, that might be a screen on your end. It's not a screen on our end. Yeah. So one of the simple screens that you could run with the markets is we could create, let's just create a folder called scans that I want to run during corrections, right? So you could easily do that in Deepvue. Just create your screens as folders. So now we have a folder called corrections. Let's create a new screen that we want to run. One of the first ones that I like to run is a very simple screen for strength. If the S&P 500 is below its 21-day, if the NASDAQ is below its 21-day, we could say that we want to see all stocks in our database, right? All stocks that are trading above the 21-day right now. So if we just do that and say that, show me all stocks that are above the 21-day right now, it will filter the database for that. Now, the next thing is, and I'll zoom in a little bit as we build a screen. The next thing we could do is we're only looking for stocks, right? So we could filter by type. It will scroll me down right into type. We could include common stocks, right? Or exclude common stocks. The pop-up is right here. There we go. We could include common stocks that we're looking for. Now we have 1928 stocks out of a database of 12,000 stocks. The next thing we could look for is some liquidity filter. So I don't want to see stocks that are trading 50,000 shares or 30,000 shares a day. So to do that, we can add a average dollar volume filter. So if I say, give me the average dollar volume, it will scroll to that. So this is just a liquidity filter. So average dollar volume on a 20-day basis, let's just say the stock has to trade $5 million or more in a day. I click add. it narrows down my universe even more. So what we've done here is created a very simple screen. Show me all stocks that are above the 21. Show me that they have to be common equity, Class C shares or common stocks that I could trade. The average dollar volume is 5 million or more. Again, it's a very simple blanket over the market, and we have 814 stocks that exhibit that. Now, this is something that you could do during your weekend screening when you have a lot of time and you could flip many charts, right? So I could save that and say that, price is greater than 21 day, and I could save it to my corrections folder, and I will run this screen when Qs or the S&P are below 21 day. So this is a form of relative strength, right? Stocks that are above the 21 day, while the major markets are below, are exhibiting relative strength of some sort. So we could save that. Now we could run the screen pretty much anytime when the market is in this particular situation. Now, let's say I want to create this same screen, right, for when looking for stocks that are above the 50 day, while the NASDAQ or the Qs are below their 50 days, respectively. So markets below 50 day, stocks are above 50 day. That's again a form of a very simple screen that we could create. So we don't have to create this whole screen from scratch. What we could do is click the three dots, go to duplicate, rename it to 50, select the folder corrections, save that. It will copy the filters, except instead of 21 day that we have here, we will change this to 50 day greater than 0. Add that, get rid of 21 day, save that screen. And now I have two screens, price greater than 50 and price greater than 21 day. Those are both saved and they will both be running in the platform, and you can run them relative to the S&P or the NASDAQ. So this particular screen has 814. You could go through some of the names, right? And see how they're acting. Some of them might be relative to this is a screen that's relative to the market. It has a lot of stocks in it. So that's one of the ways, a very simple way to screen for relative strength in the market. Now we're going to get a little bit more complicated, right? A little bit more advanced, a little bit about just using the filters that we have so that we don't have to screen 800 plus stocks to get what we need done. So one of the things that we have built into Deepvue are screener presets. So if you click my screen at any time, you have two tabs. You have save screens. These are the screens that you're saving to your profile or your account. And then you have screener presets that we've created for you. These are ready to go, ready to scan, ready for you screens that are pre-made. There's a lot of thought put into each of them. And there's a lot of screens that are done by different traders in the platform. So you can see the Minervini screens, the Stan Weinstein, Qualamagi, Oliver Kell, Mike Webster, Stockbee, Patrick Walker, etc. So one of the screens that we could run to see if a stock is outperforming the markets would be this one, RS new highs. So every time relative strength line is making a new high, or I could search for any screen that's related to relative strength. If I type relative, you'll see a whole bunch of these results. So one of the screens under top traders is the Ross Haber relative strength new high. So if I scroll down right here, so these are the stocks that made relative strength new highs as of today. So again, if I go through this screen, you'll see a lot of stocks that are exhibiting strength. So ETRN in the oil space, SAN, SYF, TCOM, TME. So you'll see a lot of these stocks that are acting really well show up on this particular screen. So all you have to do is really type in Ross, and then it will show up relative strength new highs. So again, relative strength line making a new high while the S&P or the NASDAQ are trying to figure it out means that these stocks are outperforming the market by quite a bit as well. So the other screens that we could run that are related to relative strength are relative strength on a new highs on a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 9 and 12 month. So all of these screens, they're pre-made. So if I were to click relative strength line making a new high on a 1 month time horizon, you'll see that that condition is there and is looking for all common stocks. So all of these stocks are exhibiting some sort of strength relative to the market on a 1 month basis. They're outperforming the markets on a 1 month time horizon. Now, let's say if our time horizon is not 1 month, We could run it for 3 months. We could run it for 6 months, 9 and 12. So these are all different ways to, again, scan for relative strength, copy some of, go over these names and copy some of these ideas to your watch list and save them as you build for the next market cycle. The next thing we could cover is it's a little bit unique in terms of concept. So we'll go over the concept first, and then we'll take some questions and pause right after. Is something called relative strength days. So relative strength days, this is very unique to Deepvue. It's a concept that I've developed from my trading. So as I studied different market cycles over a span of, the last, you could say 10 corrections, 15 corrections, 20 corrections, major market corrections, one of the common themes was stocks that exhibited relative strength 62% or more of the time. So relative strength day by day, while the market was in correction, they exhibited relative strength 62% or more of the time. They were more likely to be leaders of the next market cycle. So what we did was we took that study and we basically coded it into Deepvue so that we could look for those type of stocks while the market is correcting. So one of these scans that we've prepared is basically the 62.5% RS days. So every time the market is in correction, you could pretty much run this scan. It will give you a list of ideas that have been exhibiting strength or outperforming the market while the market has been in a correction 60% of the time or more. If we go to edit filter, you'll see the criteria for this scan. I'll zoom in once again. So one of the first criteria for this scan is look for common stocks or ADRs. Look for average 20-day volume to be greater than 5 million. So this is, again, a liquidity filter. You want to see liquid stocks because you want to trade liquid stocks. And then group 2 is basically looking at if any stock from a 5-day perspective or a 60-day perspective has exhibited strength or outperformed the markets, right? 60% or more of the time, it's going to be in our scan results. So it gives me 166 stocks that have been performing or outperforming the markets for anywhere from 5-day to a 60-day time horizon, 60% or more of the time. So this is one of the capabilities that Deepvue has. You could build 5 different screens or 6 different screens, but what the OR capability does is when you create this second basket, and it's an OR basket at the very bottom here, it combines those multiple scans into one, right? So I don't need to create one scan for 5-day, 10-day, 15, 20, 30, and 60. I can combine all those time frames and kind of put them into one scan. Now, this makes it really, really easy if you go through some of these names. Now, again, with any scan, it won't be perfect. Some of the names are going to be, are going to look very great. Some of the names might not, because we've included the 60-day time frame as well as the 5-day. So it's a bigger basket. So as you go through these, this screen was basically built in a way that you cannot miss a stock that is acting well, right? And it will almost guaranteed show on here that, it will, if we look at CLSK, it's one of the stocks that has been acting well, and a lot of people are looking at it. CPNG is another one that's acting really well. So this is a great way to take, the market and just build a subset of stocks that are showing relative strength. Now, one of the key things here is if you want to incorporate this into your trading, you can basically duplicate it. So you click the 3 dots, you could duplicate. We could store it in our corrections folder, right? If you create a market correction folder on your end, we could call this you could remove my name and you could customize it to yourself, rename it, whatever you like. And then click save. So if we save that, it will show under our corrections folder. Now you're building a list of scans that you're going to run while the market is correcting, and it will be very easy. Every time we're pulling back, we're preparing for the next market cycle. You could come in and run these scans that are kind of pre-built. You've thought them through. They're part of your routine while the market is pulling back. So that's relative strength days. This one is super unique to Deepvue. We took the logic, we did the study, and then we implemented it into the platform. Now, the next thing I will cover is a few other scans that you could run, especially during market corrections. One of them is another preset. So if we do the green line breakout, this one's really created by Dr. Wish. There were none today in the market, but this is something that you could run daily as green line breakouts in the market. So these ones are basically stocks that are making all-time highs after resting for 3 months or more. And this criteria is really powerful at picking those up. Another one is never, you could run the Oliver Cal 52-week high screen. Pretty much if you scan for these daily, you could see what's strengthening or moving up in the markets and where the next theme might be. And this is another screen, especially in market corrections, if you're running 52-week highs, you'll see where the money is flowing to. Is it Oilers? Is it gold? Is it the traditional semis or tech space, etc.? So that's another one. Again, any of these presets that we've made for you under screener presets, you could click the 3 dots, just duplicate them, store them into your folders, create folders for, that are situational. So if the market's pulling back, if the market's doing well, if the market's consolidating, and you can build different screens for different situations as folders and kind of have them ready for you as well. So you can add this one to the corrections folder as well, save that, and then you kind of start building your routines that way based on different situations in the market. So that's a little bit about, we covered simple screening, so price versus SMA. So if the S&P is below a certain moving average and stocks are above a certain moving average, that's a type of relative strength. We covered RS screens by Ross, which is the RS screen new high before price and the RS new highs. Relative strength days, which is unique and puts a blanket over which stocks are outperforming the markets on a 5-day to all the way to 60. That's really the best way you can catch any type of relative strength in the market, especially when we're pulling back. Green line breakout and 52-week highs. These are just some of the ways, and if you're creative enough, you can find many different ways of doing this in the screener module. We have tons and tons of criteria here that you could take a look at. I think it's a good time to pause and take some questions, Nick.
I just wanted to ask everybody, what Deepvue preset do you use the most? If you could type it in chat.
Tight range.
Tight range.
Well, let's get some more responses. So okay, Deepvue leaders, Oliver Kell, bull snorts. Deepvue leaders is a great screen. It combines many different screens using our advanced screening, where we take a look at different time horizons and different scans, and we kind of combine them all together. One of the folks says, I'm new to Deepvue. That's great. If you have any questions, let us know. Pocket Pivot is a good one. Dr. Wish's screen. All presets are really great tools. Yeah. So if you guys have any requests or something that we can implement, or some trader that you follow and you really like their screens, we're always open to adding more presets so that they're kind of done for you as well.
Or even if you guys have a custom screen that you made that you think is really good and should be made available on Deepvue as a preset for other traders, we would love to see what you have and maybe put it together.
Yes, John, we will if you contact support, they will send you a list of tutorials. You'll get a few emails over the next few days if you just joined. You will get a series of emails for onboarding as well. And then we're also starting onboarding sessions weekly going forward for all new signups, where you will hop on. One of us will be available. And if you have any questions early on, we'll answer them one-on-one.
There currently isn't a guide to all the presets. However, within the next 2 weeks, we will have an update to the application, and every single preset will have a tooltip. So you can hover over the info icon and you can read a description that will tell you exactly what each preset is. So it should help save a lot of time and introduce you to a lot of new presets.
Yeah, we'll get all of Matt Caruso's screens in here. We've been working with him on that, so we'll do that, and we'll also reach out to Brian Shannon to see what VWAP screens we can get into the platform as well. Yes, the kicker pattern is available. It's one of the ones that Matt runs. We've designed the logic exactly as he presented it at the TraderLine conference, but we will reach out to him and we'll get those in the platform as well. IBD 50. So yes, you could screen for IBD 50. I'll take a few more questions. I want to keep it on top. Don't not get too off topic because a lot of folks signed up for that. but I believe we do have. What you could really do is just run, yeah, we did get rid of it. All you could do is run FFTY, and these are the IBD50 holdings right now. So if you click holdings, you'll get the latest IBD50 holdings. So you just put FFTY, which is the IBD50 ETF, and you click the H next to it, and you'll get the holdings, the latest holdings for FFTY, which is equivalent to what IBD50 should have. Awesome. So we'll keep going. One of the things that you could also do as you're screening. So let's say I really like this screen, the 62.5%. We could sort it by relative tightness. So RMV, we published a blog on that recently, really good read. And let's just say, as we're going through this, what you want to do is look for stocks that are kind of tightening up or that represent some form of relative strength. So something like MTTR, gapping up on 60 million volume, outperforming. But any of these. So let's say I want to add, I want to create a corrections or relative strength watch list. So one of the things you could do is you could go through this. Let's say we select a few stocks that we like that are acting well. And then we want to create kind of a watch list. So what you could do is you could create a watch list right through the screener module. You just create new deep list and you say, tracking RS, and you could give it a date, April 24. You could store those in a folder as well if you want, and then save that. And what it will do is it will add those stocks to your deep list. So if we go here, go to deep list, the 6 stocks that we kind of selected through our screens, we created a watch list and we added those in. So as you go through these different names, the ones that you like, you could pick as you go. And then at the end of it, you just click one of the logos and you could add all of those stocks to your deep list right away. So that way you're building your watch list as you go. You don't have to take notes on any names. All you do is you select them in the screener table, click add to, and that watch list that we just created, tracking RS, shows up. You could toggle it, I want to add it, or I don't want to add it, or I want to add it to multiple lists at once. You could do that as well through this menu. Nick, anything else that you want to cover with respect to just screening for relative strength, some of the things that you look at while the market's correcting from a screening perspective or watch list management?
Nothing really. I'm pretty simple. I spend most of my time on the up on volume screen. So every day I'm running up on volume and I'm just kind of going through those names. If you run it every day, you kind of get a lot of really good ideas. No stock's gonna show relative strength or be a leader or breakout without first showing up on the up on volume screen. So that's my go-to every single day.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the ones very similar to 52-week high that you should run pretty much every day to get it's a good source of ideas as you screen for strength in the markets.
Yes, up on volume is a preset screener.
Yeah, so you could just click the drop down, you go to screener preset, we have a search box right here, and then you could type in any name, it will show up. Again, you could duplicate these, or if you're curious about the criteria, there's nothing hidden. You could see exactly how we built the up on volume. You could duplicate it and then tweak it according to what you think is best. Okay. A few questions that I see. What are the timeframes for fixing the industry? That is already fixed. It will be part of our next release. So we did make a few tweaks to our ranking system for industry and sub-industry. They're in QA now, and that will be part of our next release. That was actually we started queuing that today.
We have a couple of releases coming up that are going to make searching through industry groups and finding strength within different groups and sectors super easy and fun on Deepvue.
Can you filter for weekly options only? At the moment, we don't have options data in the platform. That's something we want to do later this year. But right now it's equities, ETFs. We have 12,000 symbols in that space already, and then we will add options data later this year. Is there a way, or there are plans to be able to scan for stocks that appear on multiple screens? Plans to be able to scan for stocks that appear on multiple screens. I don't think I quite understand the question. Is it possible to know which names are appearing on multiple screens? Some sort of like check mark that we're working on something like that? The ability to scan your watch list is one of the top ones that's requested and being worked on right now. If you could reword that question or exactly how you would want it, more than happy to answer that. Fundamental data is coming. A lot of fundamental data is coming. We're very close to finishing our fundamental API. So we'll have all of that integrated. Anything on income sheets, balance sheets, cash flow statements, and then any variance of that in terms of calculations we'd need to do on those type of statements, we will do, and we'll have those out over the summer. 3 weeks tight while the market is correcting, but need 4 to 8 weeks. That's a good idea. I will take a note of that. We could get, we will get 4 weeks to 8 weeks in there. It's very easy for us to configure. That's definitely a good idea. So that you're not restricted to 3 weeks. Though it's a good concept, things can be tighter for longer as well. Great idea, Nuno. The iPhone app did get an update. We pushed out the alerts module to our iPhone app. It remains in beta. We haven't officially launched it. You could go to the iOS and Android app stores, the Play Store or the Apple App Store. You could download it. The official launch will be in a few weeks. We've been continuously pushing updates to it, enabling new capabilities. We're refining some of the flows. Once we do that, we'll officially launch it. But you guys can go ahead and use it today. They're both available in both app stores.
Marty said the assumption would be that a strong stock might appear on multiple screens. I understand, like, so basically, if you have 10 screens, let's say, and one stock is showing up on 4 or 5 of them, how would we indicate that basically? That's I understand what you're saying, Marty. I think that is a good idea. It would be valuable. It's just a matter of what would that actually look like in the application? How would we design it and implement it? If you have any ideas, please email us because I do think that would be a valuable add. We just have to figure out how to do it and get it implemented.
One way would be to add your screens as columns to see check marks or X if that stock qualifies on that screen. So you could have like a check
Ooh,
mark in a table format to see if the one stock meets multiple screens at the same time.
I
Um,
like that.
that's what comes to my mind. I know that's doable, something that's been requested before. Maybe Marty, your idea is a little bit different. So do reach out to us. Do you have accumulation and distribution stocks? Yes, we do. You could, if you go to column settings, so since we have a full table here, you could click this column settings icon. You could go to proprietary ratings and you could add these. So you'll have like an A to F system or a minus 100 to a plus 100 system, Bruce. We have both of these configured. And then we also have these for ETFs as well. So we rank ETFs versus themselves. We rank equities versus themselves. So we kind of segment out the score. So it's a better indication of those in terms of accumulation distribution rankings. Tight range, another great preset, which is useful. Yes, both of these that are under Deepvue, if you go to screener presets, go to Deepvue, we have the universe leaders. These are combining multiple screens together from a relative strength and absolute strength perspective. And we have the tight range. This one looks for, it's based on RMV once again. There's a blog. I can actually link it in the chat. Nick, if you, on your side you want to find that link, post it in the chat. It's a great read. RMV is unique to Deepvue, and it's something that we've coded in based on our, a way to find tight price action across the whole database very, very quickly. I will go into covering one more thing that I do think is very useful, which was part of the agenda today, which is how do you look for strong themes, right? How do you look for strong themes very, very quickly? So one of the things that I maintain on my end is a ETF list and something that we also have under deep list presets. So deep list presets are pre-made watch lists that we've made for you. If you go under top traders, you could access Richard's ETF list. And basically what you want to do is a very easy way to see which stocks are acting, or which ETFs or which themes in the market are acting really well from a 1 month perspective, or a 3 or a 6 or a 9. So let's go ahead and add absolute strength. Absolute strength. Let's go here. So we could do it from a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 9 month. And this would be, different time horizons that we could, if you're a swing trader, if you're a short-term trader, etc., you could do any of these time frames. I like the 1 month and the 3 month the most. It's kind of caters towards swing trading or faster interpretation of market action. So you could take this ETF list, which is representative of different themes in the market that we've pre-made for you. So you click this, you're in your deep list module. You click this drop down, you go to deep list presets, you go to top traders, and you select Richard. He has 66 different ETFs added that represent different industries in the market. So when you sort this particular, sorry about that, when you sort this particular ETF list by absolute strength 1 month, which is a price performance score, it's again unique to Deepvue. It compares the performance of every ETF relative to the ETF domain, and it ranks it for you from 1 to 99. So this says that GDXJ, the junior miners, the gold miners, again GDX, the silver stocks, and gold itself. So you see a lot of the top groups in the market at the moment are related to the gold, silver space, or the utility space, or the energy space. And this is a really quick way, if you just run this in a span of 5 minutes every day, where you just have this deep list preset, you go to top traders, take a look at this, and then you sort it by absolute strength 1 month. Right away, you'll know what's working and what isn't working. And what isn't working at the moment is some of the biotech that has pulled back quite a bit. Some of the QLD, FFTY, which always kind of underperforms anyways, ITB. So these are groups in the market that are super, super weak, right? IGV, we saw a pullback of the NASDAQ break below the 50, so the IGV, which is a software ETF, follows that. To make it a little bit easier, I want to add the name column so that we can refer to some of these names. So you could add these names, and now you know exactly what these ETFs are in terms of names. And then you could also look at some of the strongest. Now, let's say what we want to do here is look at the holdings of each of these ETFs. What are these ETFs hold? What are part of these ETFs? So if I'm looking at XLE and it says XLE is one of the top groups in the market right now, right? And the energy space is one of the tops, and I want to review the stocks within it, you could go and click the H right next to it. When you click it, it will give you all the holdings of XLE right here, and it will add the holdings column as well. So now I can review all the names within XLE to find the strongest stocks that are within the strongest themes or groups in the market. And this is a very easy way for you to really build, again, a watch list, or a list of names that are acting well within the top themes as well. So to get out of this view, that was one of the questions we recently received. You click the X, it will take you back to the deep list itself. And then you could do this for pretty much any. So XOP, I want to see the holdings for XOP. I can go through all those very, very quickly. And then I want to X out of it. I go back to my watch list. And then this is, again, a very quick way for you to access one of the deep list presets, which is 66 different, themes in the market. You can sort it by absolute strength 1 month, and you'll know right away what's acting well. So any questions on that? I do see one of the questions. Yes, you could duplicate this as well. So you click the 3 dots, you could duplicate it. You could get rid of Richard's name if you could customize it for yourself, save that, and now you'll have the ETF list in your main folder here as well. Nick, any questions on that or any other questions we need to answer?
How to see extended trading data on charts. Um, John found the selection in settings, but no data is presented after 4 p.m.
So that's what you do is you go to markets, you go to the left-hand menu markets, you go to chart data settings and you toggle on extended, and that will turn on the extended market data across the charts on the platform.
I think he's referring to I think he said that he found that in settings, but no data is presenting after 4.
So if we take a look at Facebook, Facebook reported today, right? And I turn on extended market data. Whoops. Why did I put FB? Still stuck in time. Meta, right? You go to markets, it's turned on and you should see extended market data. Extended market data only shows on the daily, less than the daily time frame. So if you're on the daily expecting extended market data, the candle won't show. You have to go to a 5 minute, 10 minute, any time frame that's less than daily for extended market data to show. Will you consider adding the stability rating in the future? Definitely. We could do that. We were basically waiting on adding more fundamental data, more historical fundamental data. That's crucial to stability rating, and we will add that. Where can I find absolute strength as it no longer appears in my indicators? So absolute strength is a column. So if you go to column settings and you click proprietary ratings, you just scroll down to AS rating right here, and you'll have these are the absolute strength ratings that we have available from 1 day. So you could see a single day ranked in the market to 12-month time horizon. Will you consider adding marked high-low charts? A different type of candle. We do have high-low charts. So if you go to this drop down, instead of picking candles, you could pick high-low, and you'll have these high-low charts as well. Mike. Got it. Thanks. Awesome. How do you find the top leaders and top groups? Again, a great question. So one of the ways that we just discussed is to review the holdings of the top ETFs that are in the market. Another way could be just to scan for relative strength. Find, when you're scanning for relative strength, you're going to see certain themes that are developing, right? And within those, we're going to make that even easier by introducing sector, industry, sub-industry, and group symbols that will be marked with relative strength, and they will also have this holdings icon next to them. That will be the last step to making it super easy, which will be out in a couple of months here. Marked high-low prices. Oh, yes, that is something we are working on, and we will have soon. In terms of marking the high here and the low here, so you could see relativity in prices and also the percent pullback, right? The swing high low on a 20-day time frame or a 10-day time frame. That is being worked on. So that's a great question. When will we be able to save different data columns for different applications? So that's actually doable right now. So if you go under column settings, Michael, we have this drop down next to column settings right here, and you could create different column sets, and you could assign different column sets to different watch lists, or you can assign different column sets to different screens that you're running. So that's already doable. I would go to the Deepvue knowledge base and just search column sets, and we would have an article that would show you exactly how to do this. Awesome. How is AS defined exactly? So the absolute strength is a non-weighted calculation. It's a direct calculation based on price performance. Relative strength is a weighted calculation. It's kind of like SMA versus EMA, right? SMAs are simple. It's equal weighted for the time period. EMAs give weighting to the recent action a little bit more. Absolute strength is just pure price performance. So price performance over a span of 1 month, price performance over a span of 3 months, and then it's ranked among themselves. So that's the exact definition of absolute strength and how it's different from relative. Any possibility of getting a dash line option for averages? Yes, that should be doable already. So let's say I want to convert this daily MA10 into a different style. I could just go here and you can likely, haha, we don't have a dotted one, Nick. That's something to take note of. We should have a dotted style, but we don't. For now, I guess you could use cross or circles. That will kind of give you dotted lines for MAs. I think you could accomplish that with circles right here, if that makes sense. How about the ability to add different data panels? That's in development, being worked on. Should be out in about 2 weeks. We'll have that done. It's one. We'll have you could save different data panels, and also we will have data panel presets. So key data points that some of the top traders in the market are using. So they will be pre-configured, just like screener presets, just like deep list presets. In about 2 weeks, we'll have those. When will we get implied volatility with options data? Yes, implied volatility will come with options data once we have that in the platform. Concerning weekly options, can we scan or filter for stocks that trade weekly options? Not at the moment. Yes, I agree. It's not options data. We'll look for where we can get that from and something to, again, we'll take away and take a look at it. Right now, it's actually not part of our plan, but we'll take a look. Stats table is already part of dashboard. So if you go to dashboards, let's create a new dashboard. Call it stats table. You can copy this over. So I have a stats table right here. You could resize it to any size you want. You could connect it to a chart as well. And then we could have a screener. I click A. Now we have data for A right here. So it's already part of the dashboard, Mike. The new user onboarding sessions available to all? Likely not. No, they will be for folks that have Deepvue only. Is there an ability to create an anchored VWAP? Yes, there is an ability to create that. So you could just go here, you go to drawing tools. I will find that out. The easiest way for me is I go to this quick search and then I just want AVWAP or anchored. And it's right here. You could star that. Now it's part of my this thing and I could anchor anywhere I want infinitely. So it's actually part of this menu. So you go to this menu. Not sure what we call this. It's drawings, and then you go to volume based and you go to anchored. Best way again would be to click this search, and it's really the best way to find anything that you're looking for. And you find it really, really quickly. So if I want to place a note, I could just place note. I can star that. Now it's part of my toolbar here. So I don't have to keep searching all these menus on the left. So it's usually the quickest and the best way to find anything in the charts. We got more questions. Can chart layouts be selected for dashboard? We're aware of a small lapse in logic that's being patched. Every dashboard you could assign a different layout to and shouldn't be copied over. That is being fixed if that's a question. But yes, you can have different layouts for different dashboard and you have the ability to create unlimited dashboards. It will be screening for free cash flow will be part of our fundamental API that's almost ready and will be put into the platform. It will introduce pretty much any fundamental data point they could possibly think of. Incredible app. Thank you for everything you do. Thanks so much, Mike. Well, you have more breath symbols. More breath symbols are coming. We have a feed now with over 300 symbols and also the ability to create any breath symbol as well. That will take, I would say, about 3-ish weeks from today, if not a little bit more. But we will have all the breath data in the world, including history going back, I think, to 2012. Will there ever be more technical indicators available in the screener like super trend, MACD, relative trend index? In terms of screening, yes. MACD, Bollinger Band, Super Trend, RSI, etc. All of those will be, and those will be part of our formula builder update, where you can go, relative strength 14 on a daily time frame is greater than 80. Weekly RSI is greater than on a 10-week RSI is greater than that, and you could get super creative with any RSI MACD that you want. Mini charts will get an update, and we'll make it dynamic. You could have 3 across or 4 across or 5 across. It will be it will be much better than what we have right now. What we have right now is an initial implementation that was rolled out. Awesome. So we will end it there. If you guys have any follow-up questions, if you guys want to reach out, if you're curious about Deepvue, if you have anything that comes to mind, you could go to the bottom left. So if you have this menu on the left-hand side, you can hide it, open it, and then you go to the bottom left, you click help, and then click contact us. Or if you run upon a bug, you can report it. We have a full knowledge base. Any question that you have, you could click this knowledge base, and there's a big search bar at the very top. You just search it. Most likely you'll find like a full article with screenshots and a step-by-step guide on what to do and how to do it. It's a very easy way. If you're a subscriber already, and you could access webinars. So all the webinars that we've done in the past, we have dedicated webinars for each of the modules that's available here. And then we're also starting weekly calls as well that will be accessible to you guys as well. So you can get onboarded, you can come and ask questions, speak to a human, just right away get your questions answered. That will be starting in about a week and a half from today as well. Awesome. So that is all I have. Nick, if you want to sign off and end this.
Yeah, nothing else to add, guys. Thank you for joining us. We now have the new account dashboard on the website, so you can always find the upcoming events and register for them. Rye's gonna pull it up here. So now when you go to your account dashboard on Deepvue, you'll have all upcoming webinars, as well as we will now start being consistent, posting new articles when we come out with new features and different things, and the webinars will also be placed here. So we're kind of just making one home base that we'll keep adding to, just so you always know what's going on at Deepvue and can join in and learn about everything that's happening, because we're moving quick. So thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we will see you guys on Saturday.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.